40% of businesses survive after the first 5 years. And that's not because their product is bad, it's because they don't understand how to actually make people buy. So you ask, how do I actually apply the right strategies that's going to help me grow to those 5, 6, 7-figure months? So I want to start off with the psychology behind why people actually buy, and to make this video a bit more actionable and relatable, use real life examples of small businesses and explain how it applies to them. By the way, I'm Luella Coward, founder of Leveraging Digital Media. I've studied dozens of £1 million businesses to see how they grew, and also have helped our clients scale to 5 to 6 figures using these exact strategies. I'm going to let you steal years of my marketing knowledge so you can make sure that in this 2026, that business by force or fire is growing. Okay, so reason one is that your brand is not psychologically compelling.
You are not ready for this. You are not ready for this.
Heather really said, do you guys think I'm actually just gonna give you a pressed powder?
Here they are now. Will they address why they're gatekeeping their so-pressed secrets?
Clark! Right here,
Girl, please don't tell them anything.
A moment of your time.
No, thank you.
Can I just really quick over on this side?
Girls, if you don't want BBL allegations, our Ultra Sculpt leggings are not going to be for you. The waist cinched, the bum peachy and also lifted, the fabric smooth and breathable, the scrunch exaggerated. So that's all I really came to say.
Now, let me break that down. There's something in psychology called the emotional decision-making principle. Now, our brains are wired to make fast emotional decisions, and then our rational brain kicks in. So when someone lands on your brand, they're subconsciously asking themselves, does this feel like me? Does this solve something I'm insecure about? Does this elevate my identity? Does this make me feel safe? If the answer is no, they're gonna scroll with no hesitation. Okay, so now when I look at small businesses like Dami Howe, Yendi Skin and Afrocentrics, the products are good, the visuals are clean, but most brands stop at that looks nice or this looks nice. But nice doesn't activate identity, nice doesn't activate insecurity, and nice doesn't activate aspiration. But what does is emotion. You have to understand, as a business owner, people buy because of identity. This is so me, or I relate to this, problem. Aspiration, this is the type of person I want to become. Relief, this fixes an issue that I've been dealing with for a long time, or an issue that really bothers me. Or status, for example, this elevates me. If your brand is not hitting any one of these, you're forgettable. I'm sorry to break it to you. For example, if you're a small business owner, in the case of Afrocentric, so a natural hair care brand, in their ads, instead of saying new drop available or new product available, they can say natural hair care doesn't have to feel like a battle. Why would that be better? Because someone who has natural hair, or let's say a black woman, they are going to relate to that. They understand that if they're taking their braids out, or if they're washing their hair, it's going to take a good half a day, maybe even a day, hopefully not a whole day, but maybe even a day. And the products that have been used in the past, they're difficult to use. Well, not necessarily difficult to use, but your hair is tangly, it's knotty, it's this, that and the other. So by them providing a solution to an issue that relates to us, I'm going to look at that and think, you know what? It has been feeling like a battle. I don't want to have to deal with that. That product solves my issue. I can relate to that problem. For example, in the case of Yendi Skin, rather than being like, okay, obviously, yes, it's really good to show that this is what the person's skin looks like before, this is what the person's skin looks like after. Obviously, social proof is really, really good, but also selling with the confidence that it gives you. So let's say if I had acne or whatever problems they solve, it's giving me more confidence. So a brand that does this really well, and I know I mention it all the time, is Topicals. So they don't just show this is what the skin looked like before, this is what the skin looked after. They sell the confidence it gives you. They sell the aspiration. They sell the brand. You want to be part of the Topicals club. But also it's like, okay, founder had this issue. This is how it was making her feel. You as an onlooker, if you're dealing with that issue, you're going to look at it and be like, okay, I relate to this. I can see the confidence it's given her. I can see the confidence it's given all these people that have used the product. I want that confidence. And if you are starting to understand the shift, it's not just product marketing, it's identity marketing. And now, if you look at Nike, they do not sell just trainers. Well, obviously they don't just sell trainers, they sell a whole bunch of things, but they don't just sell trainers, they sell identity. This whole Just Do It isn't just about shoes. It's about discipline. It's about ambition. It's about becoming a stronger person.
You could overthink it. You could play it safe. But the only thing stopping you could never be you.
And that's why people feel something when they buy from Nike. And this is why they dominate the market. So, in summary, your brand should make someone think, this is me, this is for me, this gets me, this relates to me, and I need this product in my life. That is when people stop scrolling, because what you have to understand this day and age, people are not doing the whole, oh my God, let me really look into it if they don't have that slight bit of interest. You have to capture that attention. You have to make that very clear in the first 5 seconds. There are 1,000,001 other brands, probably hundreds of other brands selling something similar to what you're selling. What is going to make your target customer click on your Instagram account, go to your bio, and buy your product? Okay, so reason 2 is that you're not guiding your customer through a buying journey. And this is where a lot of small businesses fall short. You're not guiding your customer, you're just showing up on whatever platform you've chosen and expecting them to figure it out. But buying is a process. Nobody goes from, who is this, to take all my money in just one step. But most small business owners market like that's how it goes. And that's not how it goes. So when I look at small businesses like Dami Howe, Yendi Skin and Afrocentrics, again, they have great content, but it lives in isolation. There's no clear journey, right? I might see a post, then click the page, then go to their website, but at no point am I being led. You're relying on the customer to connect all the dots, and if they have to do all the thinking, you're going to lose them. So if we're looking at bigger brands like Zara or Skims, they don't just post content, they build journeys. You might see a piece of content that grabs attention, and then an ad that reinforces the product, then a retargeting ad with social proof, and then an email with an offer. That's not just random. That's a funnel. And the key thing is that these brands are not hoping and wishing you buy when you see their post. And these brands don't just rely on one platform. You see them on TikTok, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on emails, on YouTube, on ads, and their website. And probably, if they're a massive company, on billboards and whatnot. They're all saying the same thing, just in different ways. That's omni-channel. And that's what builds familiarity, which leads to trust, which leads to sales. So your actionable step, instead of just posting, and of course I know when I speak about these bigger brands, they have a lot of budget to put behind these things. When I speak to obviously smaller businesses, you have to do it in a slightly different way. Obviously, one day you're going to get to that scale, but if you don't have that budget, we have to do it on a slightly smaller scale and then scale it up. So what you could do is start with one hero product or one product that does really well at the moment and push it across all platforms. If you're promoting on Instagram, get on TikTok. If you're on Instagram and TikTok already, start doing ads if you've got the budget. Or if you've got a good social following on Instagram and TikTok, start with ads. Get on Snapchat if you have a younger audience. Get on Google, YouTube. Repeat the same messages across these platforms. Retarget people who have engaged and guide people from content to product to checkout. So your job as a business owner is not just to post content. Your job is to move your customer through a journey from I've never heard of you to I trust you to I need this product in my life desperately. So in summary, if your marketing feels random, so will your sales. Okay, so reason 3 is that you haven't removed the risk. You have to understand, people don't trust you yet. It's not that they don't like the product or they hate your business or the world is against you. It's just that buying from you feels risky. And we as humans were wired to avoid risk. And especially in these times where people are even tighter with their money and want to be spending, it has to make sense to spend. They are not going to part ways with their money if they don't feel like they're getting a good return. Whether it's a skincare product or you've got a sportswear product, or in my case, you have a service-based business, I had to understand when I first started and I was reaching out to all these companies to try and say, okay, I want to help with your marketing, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. I had to think to myself, okay, if I was this big business, or if I was even this smaller business, because you guys as a smaller business, it's going to be harder to part ways with your money because sometimes that money is not there. But I had to think to myself, okay, if I have no, referrals or case studies or reference or examples of work that I've done, why are people going to spend their money or give me their money if they can't see they're going to get a good return? It's too risky. So, like I said, this applies to both B2C and B2B. Okay, now going back to psychology, there's another principle called social proof. Now, I'm not going to act like everybody and their mother doesn't know what social proof is, so I'm hoping anyway, But if people can't see that other people have brought, or if the people that in their same situation have brought, in my case, when I first started and I was working with hair companies, if they couldn't see I'd worked with other hair companies to see I've grown them from 30k a month to 70k a month or X to Y, and they're in that similar situation, they're not going to buy because they're not going to trust that I can provide that result. So now if we apply this to Afrocentrix, a natural hair care company, you can see, if we scroll on their Instagram now, that they have strong branding and quality products. But in today's market, branding alone is not enough. Like I said, people don't just want to hear how it works, they want to see exactly how it works. So rather than just the product shots and the aesthetic shoots and the ingredients breakdown, you're forgetting the most important thing, which is proof. So one thing I do with my clients, and I do with Afrocentrix, is break down your target customer. So once, obviously, hopefully you'd understand exactly who your target customer is first, but once you understand that, you'll know what questions they ask themselves before they buy a product. So you need to be thinking, if they're asking themselves, what if this product doesn't work, or what if I spend my money on another hair care brand and it doesn't do anything for my hair? What if it's not for my hair type? What if it's a waste of money? What if I look, stupid if it's a clothing brand? What I again do for my clients within my ads and within my content, I would be answering these questions. So whether it's screenshot reviews from other customers saying, for example, I've tried loads of hair care companies before, none of them have quite worked like Afrocentrix before. I really like it. It really works amazing for my hair texture. And then have a picture of their texture and who's thinking of buying. Your job as a brand owner, business owner, is to answer these questions before they're even asked. So again, if Afrocentrix caters to a whole range of hair textures, you need to be answering those questions for all those hair textures. Or if it's simply just for 4C hair, answer all those questions that you should know your target customer has, and you have already answered it in their marketing, so they don't have to ask themselves that question. So again, if I was them, how exactly would I apply this, and how exactly would I improve the current content that is up there? I would push more raw UGC, so that might be, shot on an iPhone. I'm not talking about professional camera setup, shoot type of shots, but real bathroom, real wash days, or do XYZ to my hair. You want to show the messy to result transformation. You want to highlight specific customer hair types, so 4C, 3A, whoever exactly you're catering to. And lastly, you're going to want to make the testimonials unavoidable. And one company that does this really well actually is D Hair Beauty. So you'll see all over their Instagram, I'll put it now, all over their Instagram, they have testimonials, they have examples, they have UGC from their customers. But when you go on their website, you will literally be looking at the product you're ready to buy. And even if you have that hesitation and you're asking yourself, clearly they've done something right. Because if you're asking yourself these questions when you're about to buy, they have all these testimonials come up and say, but of other customers in the down on the side, load of different ones. And this is because repetition builds belief. You might as a business owner think, okay, I'm being annoying, I'm in front of them all the time, I'm posting my content, it's getting annoying. No, if these massive big brands can be everywhere at one time and can be in your faces all the time, you can make sure that your product is in front of your customers when it needs to be all the time, reminding them why they should buy from you. And having these testimonials and having these UGC videos and having all of that jazz, it needs to be done. Don't think it's too much. Okay, so now you have two options. You can watch this and nod your head and go back to the same tactics and methods you were using before that weren't working. Or you can actually fix it, because the brands that win are not the ones that guess and hope and pray and all this wish-washy rubbish. They're the ones that have the strategy and execute properly. And that's the difference between the brands that stay small. And like I said, I'm not sat here preaching, because this is what I've seen work and the things that I have applied to the clients that I've worked with. Okay, now, so if you have a small business and you want help, or you want someone to implement these things for you to help you grow, my link is in the description. You can book in a call. We can do an audit of your current marketing and see how we can help you grow. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you. Oh, give it a like. Oh, give it a like. Give it a subscribe. All of that jazz. And I will see you in the next video.